Hey everybody, purpose of this video is to walk you through the primer quiz. I know it says a second primer for a little bit of math. There was another one I had too, but this one worked just fine. So anyway, it was just basically a real quick arithmetic, number skills, and a little bit of technology in their assessment. Not a whole lot of math in this class, in all honesty. Math in the traditional sense of manipulation of symbols over... You have to look at what we're after in this class. I'm not really after the manipulation of symbols. I'm after the meaning of the result of the manipulation. And more on that to come, but there are certain things we have to know how to do. Like, for example, the first one, convert 6/41 to a decimal. Okay, so that's a nasty number, but it'll show up. It'll show up if we have a sample space of size 41 and a success space or an event space of size 6. So running it through technology, either Google or your TI, 6/41 come out to be to hundredths place is 0.15. And then 0.15 is 15%. So there's your first two solutions for that bad boy. And it's just a matter of, you know, you can try to figure out what it's got to be more slickly if you want. I mean, you can go, okay, 6/41 is the same thing as 12/82 when we're going to use 82 here in a minute. So 12/82. Or you can say, you know what, Rule, I don't like that at all. I'm going to say 6/41 is 6/40, because 40 is a nicer number. And then that would be 12/80, because you double both the top. And then if I take a half more, 80 gets to 100. And then a half more of the 6 that I added from 6 to get to 12 would be 3, so 3 plus 12 is 15. Now that might seem like magic to you, so don't do it. Use technology. The next one, express 82% as a fraction with 50 in the denominator. Well, 82% means 82 per 100. Right? Makes sense. To get this as a 50 in the denominator, you're going to have to cut this in half, which means you cut this in half to maintain the value of the fraction, the equality of the fraction. So 41/50ths, and there you go. Not too bad, not too bad. It says this one. I like this one. Express 30% as a fraction with 2 in the numerator. Okay, so 30% or 3/10, if you will, as 2 over something. 2 over something. And I put a squiggly equals because you're not going to be able to make it equal to something because I'm forcing you to make this a whole number. A whole number. So I shouldn't say, I mean, depending on the mathematics, this one, it won't work. In general, it might. So 3/10 is 0.3, 3 over 10. So I'm saying use a whole number denominator. That makes it easier for you. So let's just try some whole numbers. Let's try 1, 2 over 1. Well, 2 over 1 is 200%, not 30%. So obviously that has to be bigger. So 2 over 2, well, that's 100%. We're getting there. It's 100%. 2 over 3, well, that's 67%, 0.67. So we're getting smaller. We're getting there. 2 over 4 is a half, or 50%. 2 over 5 is 40%, 0.4. Can we beat that? 2 over 6 is a third, so we're getting closer. That's 0.333333. 2 over 7 is 2 times 1/7. 1/7 is about 14%. Maybe a little bit more. Actually, it's a little bit more. So that's the closest. That's got to be right. That's got to be, because if 1/7 is a little bit more than 14%, 2/7 is going to be a little bit more than 30%. Twice as much as a little bit more, which is going to get us really close to 30, closer than 2/6 would have gotten. And then 2/8 is getting too small. Too small. I say too small. It's 28%, right? 2/8. No, 25%. It's going to get smaller, less rapid that they did as 2 over 1 to 2 over 2 to 2 over 3. But now I'm talking about 1/11 stuff, and let's not talk about that. So anyway, 7 was what you're looking for there. Alrighty, let's keep looking. The next one, oh, this was just making sure that you remember how to run your machines for a calculation. I'm going to explain to you how I did this one. I put the values of 3, 5, 2, 6, 12, and 6 into L1 on your TI, and I put the 5.7s into L2, and then I used L3 to actually do that entire numerator up there. And then once I forgot to divide by 5 though, 61.3 divided by 5. Once you end up doing that auto sum of that column, you add up that entire numerator, you end up getting 61.34, and when you do 61.34, divided by 5, you end up with 12.268. I told you to round it off to the nearest tenth, so that's 12.3. So the reason, you might be wondering why in heaven's name I made you evaluate that crazy expression. And the reason's fairly straightforward. That formula that you're seeing there is called a sample variance, which is a big part of statistics. You're about to learn it in week 3 about what it actually means and what it stands for. But that's the actual calculation. You'll do it one time in class and one time here, and then we'll use technology because, as you might understand, that's rife with potential places to mess up. The next one here, I use Excel to figure out what percentage you're less than 82. I like the number 82 on this quiz for some reason. Nonetheless, hopefully the video was helpful and helped you figure it out. I didn't do it myself, so I think you can figure it out. And last but not least, okay, this is the most mathy of the bunch, I guess, because it has a little bit of algebra. If 4 numbers have an average of 23, and 3 of the numbers are 156 and 22, what's the 4th? So you might wonder why you care about this. Well, you'll see why you'll care about it soon enough. So you got to remember, computationally, your average is the sum of all the data values divided by how many there are. Now, I know I didn't let you use that formula right off the bat in class, but the reason for that was simple. I wanted you to understand why it worked. So essentially, what we're talking about here is, let's solve it out formulaically first and then go back and see how we could have done it a different way. Okay? So the average is 23. The sum of the data values is 1 plus 56 plus 22 plus something. I'm going to call that a question mark. Let's make it a colorful one too so it stands out. And that must be divided by 4. Okay? So 4 times 23 is going to give us, what is that? Is that 92? Carry the 1. Yeah, 92. 1 plus 56 is 57. Plus 22 is 79 plus question mark. Subtracting 79 from 92 is going to give us 13, and that must be what the last data value is 13. Now, could we have gotten that number a different way? Absolutely, absolutely. Once you know the average is 23, this is that equal share or fair shake number, If you know that's the fair shake number and there are 4 numbers, you know that all told there are 92 data values. And then all you've got to do is make sure that those are all split equally to get to 23. So essentially, logically going through it, you're doing the same thing as you would have done algebraically. It's just you don't have to use a formula, although this is, I think, the perfect place for a formula. It simplifies down some of those ideas of equal share, I shouldn't say fair shake, equal share, more succinctly, I think, with the formula. So I hope that helped, and we'll see you in class.